Hi guys, this week the census figures have come out from Northern Ireland on the current makeup of society there, and the biggest takeaway from it was that for the first time in its history there is a Catholic majority in Northern Ireland. Now this is significant for a number of reasons, but I'll get to those in just a moment. First, let's hear from Emma Little-Pengelly from the DUP and hear her downplay this, and I'll also tell you why she's doing that. Let's have a listen.
Well, we've heard a lot of very dramatic language today, but the reality is there hasn't been a significant change from what we heard during the election. The figures are roughly the same, so there's nothing new here. Northern Ireland and Northern Ireland's identity is a very complex thing. We've known that for a long time. We have a number of minorities on both from either community and in the centre. So we're now a Northern Ireland of minorities. We've been in that position for many, many years. So I think that maybe people need to calm down a little bit. Really, there hasn't been anything that's significantly new about this that we didn't know in the last election.
Unfortunately, we don't get to hear what Mark Carruthers, the journalist, goes on to say, but I just want to pick up on what Emma has said. Now, Emma has said that there's nothing really significant here. These numbers haven't really changed, and that there isn't a majority on either side. So the two principal communities being the pro-nationalist ones, the ones who want a united Ireland, the unionist ones, who want in Northern Ireland to remain part of the United Kingdom, and then those people in the centre who haven't picked a side. Now, in theory, yes, technically she's correct here that there hasn't been a massive change. This has been chugging along for many years, but it's important to remember the history of Northern Ireland. I'm not going to go into very much detail here. We could talk about this for hours, but Northern Ireland was set up as a permanent Protestant state in the north of Ireland. So the 6 counties of Ulster were set up as a permanent state. This idea that we have a majority of Protestants in this part of Ulster, this is going to remain Protestant until the end of time. And of course, the people setting it up over 100 years ago didn't understand what was going to happen. Even, the last 10 years, the last 25 years since the signing of the Good Friday Agreement couldn't have taken into account how Northern Ireland would change. And while, as I said, technically she's right, this isn't going to change that much because you have a Catholic majority. It's important to remember that not all Catholics support a united Ireland, in the same way that not all Protestants support the Union. Not all Unionists are Protestant and not all nationalists are Catholic. So there's a bit of a crossover there. But the fact that there is a majority of people who claim to be Catholic now demonstrates it's an existential problem for unionism, because this number is only going to go up. Now, why is there a majority of Catholics? There are a number of ways of looking at this. There are a number of reasons behind this. One particular response to this question is that over the last number of decades, Catholics tend to have more children because they have bigger families. Why do they have bigger families? In the past, it was probably because there was less access to family planning, contraception, things like that. Protestants tend to have smaller families, but why are the DUP so dismissive of this? Well, because the DUP understand, or maybe they're starting to understand, that a united Ireland is coming and they can't stop it. And they can try and throw as many obstacles in its way or try to downplay significant news like this, because it will render them obsolete. There will be no DUP in a united Ireland. There will be no unionism in a united Ireland. I've been saying this for some time, and it would make sense for people who want to hold on to a British identity to engage with those parties and those organisations that want to bring about a peaceful united Ireland. A united Ireland is happening. Okay, there's no getting away from that. In the same way, Scotland will become independent eventually. It's the people who are trying to stop it. They need to face reality. They need to be part of the future. They have a responsibility. These are politicians who have been elected, yes, as unionists, but they're not just unionists. They're supposed to look after their constituents' problems, be it the NHS or the energy crisis, things like this. If they decide to become politicians in United Ireland, they will have the same responsibilities. Unionism will be over. There will be no unionism in United Ireland. The majority Catholic census results mean that a United Ireland we're getting closer to that. We're moving in that direction significantly faster than we had previously thought. Once again, as I said, a majority of Catholics does not mean a majority of supporters for a United Ireland. There are people in the centre, people who are looking on and trying to understand, is our future, is it better to be in a United Ireland or is it better to be part of the United Kingdom? Some of the arguments against a United Ireland would be, for example, the loss of the NHS. So there is a different healthcare system in the Republic of Ireland. Many people see the NHS as much better. My argument against that is, well, the Tories are destroying the NHS bit by bit, day by day. So I don't know how long the NHS will last. The economic impact would be pretty significant on the island of Ireland if there is reunification. But the argument against that would be there would be billions of dollars coming in from the United States and billions of euros coming in from the European Union to support this reunification, the rebuilding of the economy or the rebuilding of the country, the realignment towards a unified country. There would be support from all over the world, I think, for that, economic and political support. So I don't think there are really any arguments against a United Ireland. And unionists are not making arguments for the union. This is a complicated issue, as Emma has pointed out here. The demographics are complicated. But the writing on the wall is there is a clear majority now of Catholics, and a majority of Catholics support a United Ireland. Not all, but a majority. And Brexit, that was backed by the DUP, and a continual rule of the Conservative Party in Westminster, I think, is driving unionists to reconsider the union. And people sitting on the fence are probably also deciding maybe our future is part of the EU, maybe our future is part of United Ireland. But I'd love to hear your comments on this, guys. Let me know in the comment section. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.